Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen. Now, this video is in response to my buddy Boogeyman Ben. Check his channel out, guys. And he tagged me in a video called Random Horror Questions. The first one is, would you rather be a vampire, a werewolf, a ghost, a witch, a wizard, or a zombie? And my answer to that is definitely got to be a vampire, because definitely the immortality aspect of it just excites me. I've always wanted to be immortal and live forever. And of course, vampires are extremely strong too, you know. And definitely that aspect of you can seduce people with the stare, you know. And get people to do your bidding just by staring at them, and get them to do whatever you want. Next is, if The Purge was a real yearly event, would I participate? I have to say, definitely not. I'm not a violent person. I wouldn't want to go out there and pillage and plunder and kill people. You know, that's not who I am. I'm a pretty gentle guy, you know. I'm very peaceful. Yeah, I might be into horror and stuff, but that's strictly for entertainment purposes. It definitely would not hurt a fly. Next is, in a zombie apocalypse, would you be a zombie or a survivor? I'd say to that, definitely I want to be a survivor. I mean, why would I want to be a zombie and eat people and eat their brains and intestines and their insides? No, thank you. I'm not into that kind of stuff. And also, zombies are really easy to kill. You just shoot them in the head and they're done. That's it. I want to be a badass zombie killer like Alice in the Resident Evil movies, or like my buddy Rick Grimes there, my hero in The Walking Dead. I want to be that guy. So next is, you are the bringer of the apocalypse. Who would you choose from the leaders of world history as your four horsemen of the apocalypse? And I chose Caligula, the evil, twisted, demented Roman emperor. One of the most sadistic madmen in the history of the world, you know. Do all kinds of sick, insane debauchery and evil deeds. You gotta have a guy like Caligula on your team. Next up would be Henry VIII from England. Now he had the balls to take on the Pope and proclaimed himself the leader of the church in England. Now that takes some serious cojones. And that's just so he could continue his affair with Anne Boleyn. You need a guy like that. Now I also had to represent the U.S., of course, and I can't think of any U.S. presidents in history really that I would want on the team. But I would want General George S. Patton. Yes, you need a badass guy like that on your team. So yeah. Next up would be Ivan the Terrible, the ruthless Tsar of Russia. You gotta have him on your team. So yeah, that's my four horsemen of the apocalypse. Next up is, what's your favorite horror sequel that's better than the original? Now that's a real tough one, because I can't really think of too many horror sequels that are actually better than the original. But this one I feel was Amityville 2, The Possession. If you guys have never seen that, check it out. I think it's much scarier than the original, and I also like that it's based on the real facts of the case. The original case, you know, before the Lutzes moved in and they got chased away by all the ghosts in the house. No, this was the real murders that took place in that house on Ocean Avenue there, where the young boy killed his entire family with a shotgun. And he claimed the house talked to him, and the voices in his head made him do it, you know. And I found that real interesting. Yeah, they kind of get it twisted in the end there. It turns into a possession movie like The Exorcist, but at the beginning there, for a while, it's very interesting. And it's pretty faithful to that story. So check out Amityville 2, The Possession, guys. Next up is what horror film had the best twist ending? And I picked The Mist from Stephen King. Now, I definitely did not see that twist coming in that film. It's not really one of my favorite horror films. I wouldn't even say it's one of the best Stephen King movies, but that ending really grabs you, you know. And I definitely did not see that coming. So next up is what horror movie came out the year you were born? There's only one that I could see is really any good, and that's Jaws, because that came out in the year I was born, which is 1975, folks. Jaws, what a classic that is. Amazing film. It's so scary to this day. It makes no one to this day wants to go in the ocean because of that movie. So thanks Boogeyman Ben for including me in that horror tag. And so I'm going to tag some people back, and that is Horror Addicts, Christian Hannah Horror, Horror Squad, and my good folks there, Horror Metal. And great site there, check that one out. So that's my response, guys. Thanks for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared.